Good evening and thanks for joining us on your Thursday. I'm Sophie Erber. Tim Seaman will also join us in just a few minutes at the Clay County Fair Live with a special edition of our SIOUXLAND stories. Fairgoers are enjoying their 6th day of fun in the sun there. Today's schedule features a parade of antique tractors along with a special showcase of the importance of corn as a crop in Iowa. And as the sun goes down, country music star Josh Turner will take the stage. But first, we are getting our first look now at possible new congressional and legislative maps drawn up for redistricting in Iowa. And we're following it now in our top story at 5. This is the old map, District 1 in northeast Iowa, 2 in the southeast, 3 is next to that in southwest Iowa, and District 4 covering much of northwest and north central Iowa. Now, look at the proposed map. District 4 is much larger, covers about 44 counties. District 3 covers more of south central Iowa. Districts 1 and 2 have flipped, with District 1 getting a smaller number of counties. All 4 current representatives are still in separate districts. And the maps were delivered to the General Assembly this morning, so next, a special legislative session will take place. That is set for October 5th, and that would be to approve these new maps. The Iowa Supreme Court has also set a December 1st deadline. That's to complete the redistricting process. The maps also include new lines for state house and Senate districts. So at a first glance, House Democratic leader Jennifer Confrist says that it looks fair.
Look at it like a voter, right? Is the person who I'm looking to elect, do they live near me? Do they live in my area? Do they represent me? And this map has districts that are pretty balanced and fair across the board.
Comments will be allowed during all 3 virtual public hearings, the first of those set for September 20th. Now, you can see the maps if you'd like online on our website at the address on your screen there, SIOUXLANDproud.com, or just click that story on the KCAU 9 mobile news app. In court news, a suspect has been arrested for a stabbing that sent 2 Sioux City men to the hospital yesterday. 28-year-old Armando Valerio was arrested at the scene. He is charged with willful injury and domestic abuse assault. Officers were dispatched just after 5 p.m. to the 2100 block of Boyce Street. There, the 2 found 2 men ages 20 and 19 suffering from minor stab wounds. Court documents reveal one victim was stabbed in the jaw below the ear and in the stomach. The other victim had a cut on his left shoulder. Police say the stabbing incident resulted from a disagreement. Valerio was booked into the Woodbury County Jail. And the Sioux City Police Department tonight is warning people of another potential phone scam. This one is claiming that your water bill is late. So the scammers threaten that the city will shut the victim's water off if the bill is not immediately paid. As a reminder, the city says they will send 2 written notices of late payment in addition to your bill, and you will never be called by the city, especially after hours. A carbon dioxide pipeline is in the works, funded by Summit Carbon Solutions. In this proposal, the pipeline would run through 5 states, including 700 miles in Iowa. Now, per Iowa state law, the State Utilities Board must hold informational meetings with the landowners who would have said pipeline run through their property, most of which is farmland. There's a meeting set at the Convention Center coming up tonight at 6. If you'd like more information, you can visit our website. Again, that's SIOUXLANDproud.com. Today marks the beginning of Iowa State Patrol's Traffic Fatality Reduction Task Force effort. That's aimed at helping keep drivers safe, of course. Trooper YANEFF explained why it's so necessary.
Obviously, with the speed is trying to reduce the number of fatalities, trying to get everybody to slow down, that everybody doesn't have to be in a hurry. Even if they're running just a minute or 2 late, that's okay. I mean, provided everyone's going to work, to get their deal, but it's to get there safely and to arrive there alive.
Trooper YANEFF adds that there has been 236 fatalities on Iowa roads, and that's so far in 2021, which is slightly above average from the last year's. That was 338. Well, the dry summer heat is not just tough for Siouxlanders, but especially on farmers' crops. Siouxland has been in a drought for most of the summer, as we know, and farmers say they're starting to see and feel the impact. Tony HEISTERKAMP, co-owner of Eden Valley Apple Orchard and Aronia Berry Farm, says that while the flavor of his fruits remains intact, the size is impacted by our lack of rain.
Of course, with this many trees, we can't get to all the varieties, so some of the trees that did make it through late stage pollen, there's tons of apples on, but they're not normal size. They're smaller than what they normally would be. Still good apples, but not as good as what they would have been if with the moisture.
While fruits can be deformed from a lack of moisture, HEISTERKAMP adds that at least the bugs have not been as bad during this drought. And it's known as the world's greatest county fair. The food, rides, and entertainment found at the Clay County Fair in Spencer, Iowa, of course, playing a big part in that. And Tim can testify to all of it. He joins me live now from Spencer, where day 6 of this year's fair is officially underway. Good evening.
Tell you what, Sophie, it's been a great day here. A windy day, as my hair will attest. There's no doubt about that. But it's sunny and nice, and we're at the fair, so what more could be better? You know, it's just a great day. You know, I've been through this fair for years, the food, the stands, the exhibits, the ag expos. But it's really the people that make this fair so special. Not only the ones that come as guests, but those that help put this on each year. And we'll meet one of them in this week's edition of SIOUXLAND Stories. He's indeed a special man here at the Clay County Fair. This year marks the 90th year that fairgoers have enjoyed big-name entertainment in the fair grandstand. Dave POTRATZ is a longtime board member and has coordinated the grandstand backstage for over 50 years. He works with the artists and their managers, getting everything just right when the show starts. Over 5 decades, Dave has worked with some legends in the music business.
Garth Brooks, who's probably one of the #1s out there. We've had Kenny Chesney, we've had Blake Shelton, all of the great ones, and along with the Bob Hope of the Century that everybody knows, and Red Skelton. So, and of course we had the Statler brothers here for 13
On any
times.
given night during the fair, more people will gather here, something like 7,000 when the grandstand's full in these seats. And they'll gather more here than really at any other spot in Spencer during the course of the year. Built in 1936, the grandstand provides a gathering place for families across the region, a family that POTRATZ says he's lucky to be part of.
That's what you do it for, is to make sure that the people that buy the tickets and sit in that stands have the best time that they can have. And the fact that if you can make sure they're having a good time and enjoying themselves, they'll come back to another show in another year.
Tonight's country artist Josh Turner that takes the stage. He headlines the grandstand show at about 7:30. POTRATZ has seen big changes over the years, not in the crowd necessarily, as over the course of the week there'll be some 30,000 that take to the grandstand. But he has seen, he says, a change in what it costs to bring this talent to town.
Well, the acts have certainly changed and gotten, you know, when an act used to be like Bob Hope, did 2 shows and we paid him around $36,000. Today it's 1 show and the entertainers get anywhere from what we can afford, $85,000 to $100,000 to $1 million going down the road. That's what's changed a lot.
And Dave says he couldn't get it done without the great help of 8 others that work backstage with him each night. After the decades of service on the fair board, POTRATZ is stepping down from his board duties this year, but he told me today that he still plans to be backstage in 2022 when another lineup of entertainment takes to the Clay County Fair grandstand. Indeed, it is quite a show, and he's kind of the ringmaster when you talk about what happens at the grandstand. That is again at 7:30 tonight. We've still got some time to walk around the grounds and have some fun, Sophie, but we'll come back a bit later in this newscast. I'll be joined by the fair's manager and CEO, Jeremy Parsons. He'll talk about what it's like to come back 1 year after COVID canceled this fair. In the meantime, live in Spencer, Iowa at the Clay County Fair, Tim Seaman, KCAU 9 News.
All right, thanks, Tim. Have a great time. Perfect night for it. And that live interview is coming up in just about 10 minutes, so do stay tuned for that. But first, Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson will join us live from the fairgrounds with your full 9 on 9 forecast. That's right after this break and a look at downtown Sioux City.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Thanks for sticking with us. It is a beautiful night on the hot side and a little windy, as we heard from Tim earlier in the newscast. But for the official forecast on this great night, let's check in now with our Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson, who takes us back to the Clay County Fair, where they also have
Thank you very
good
much,
weather.
Sophie. The fairgrounds here in Spencer, Iowa are certainly filling up with a lot of folks ready to have a good time. here at the Clay County Fair. We've had some pretty nice weather today, with the exception of the wind. It's been very strong here in Clay County and throughout Siouxland this afternoon, with gusts near 40 miles per hour. We'll get a look outside once again from our Ho-Chunk Center camera set up in downtown Sioux City. It shows that we have bright sunny skies overhead. It has been a beautiful day, though on the warmer end of average. Checking out our current temperatures now, they're in the upper 80s and lower 90s. It is 90 degrees in Spencer, 89 for Sioux Day, and you can see that we'll have almost instantly some fall-like conditions, a high of just 69 on Tuesday afternoon before we bounce back into the 70s. That's all for the forecast for now. We'll have more coming up later on in the show. Here in Spencer, Iowa, at the Clay County Fair, Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson, KCAU 9 News. Sophie?
All right, enjoy the night there. Thanks a lot, Scott. And robbery and vandalism now trending on TikTok, the social media platform. Schools are the main target, too, as students compete for likes with the most devious lick. We will explain this trend coming up in about 7 minutes. But first, Tim joins us once again live with the CEO of the Clay County Fair. What he sees for the future of the world's greatest, that's coming up next. Like most summer fairs and festivals, the Clay County Fair in Spencer, Iowa had to be canceled last year because of COVID-19 concerns. But this year it is back with thousands of people coming through those gates. And that is where, again, Tim joins me from tonight. Hi, Tim.
Sophie, a year ago, like fairs across the country, this one was canceled as well, but fair organizers did a good job of keeping it alive with several small events during the year. A lot of them involved food. So I guess you could say this year, fairgoers are getting the whole enchilada, because everybody's back and folks are wearing a smile today, that's for sure. Nobody smelled bigger than fair manager and CEO Jeremy Parsons. He joins me this afternoon. Jeremy, thanks for taking the time. And see, I told you, he's smiling.
You know, it is. It's great to see people here, and we're just grateful and thankful to have a fair, and I think that's been represented by how people have been responding so far this week.
What was the feedback you got initially? Was it was there concern? Were people just ready to go do it? Or how would you summarize the feeling of folks as you build up for this opening? You
know, as we built up for this opening, we know people have been ready for this fair. They've shown us through buying advance gate tickets and grandstand tickets. And now that the fair is here, they're showing us by coming out and spending money. So we knew that the fair was important to kind of the culture of Siouxland and Northwest Iowa. And we understand that even more now by how important it is for people to be here. And we're seeing that when they're here at the fair.
Did you get good reaction as well from your commercial folks? I mean, this is a huge, the North America's biggest ag expo. They're here.
They are here, you know, and like anything, as I often say, the fair is not an island. So for our businesses and organizations, the labor shortages, the supply shortages that are really happening throughout the world, you're seeing here. But yet our vendors were able to overcome that and have some great displays. You know, the farm machinery show is as big as ever. All of our indoor buildings are full as well.
Let's look down the road a little bit. You're going to get past this year. You're back on your feet and rolling. What's down the road for the Clay County Fair?
You know, I think as everything, we need to know what is going to be a permanent change after COVID. You know, what part of our lives have changed permanently. And once we get that figured out, we're going to navigate. We still know that people want to come together and gather here at the fair. So we're going to do what we've done for 103 years. We're going to try to make it bigger and better each and every year and continue to adapt as the world changes.
I'll give you a free pitch. Are there tickets still alive for Josh Turner tonight?
There are tickets out there for Josh Turner and all of our shows. So definitely, you know, just come to the fair. It's a place where you can spend the whole day with your whole family and see something that everyone will want to see. Do that here.
One last word. Earlier we heard from Dave POTRATZ. You do have great people, many of them.
You know, the fair is about people, and in October we're going to recognize people that have worked here for 25 years, 40 years, even 50 years, and there are several of them to be honored this year, and they miss the fair more than anybody, and it's sure great to have them back as well.
We're glad to be back as well. Thanks for having us, and have a good rest of the fair.
Yeah, you know, come out and enjoy it. I mean, that's what it's really all about. Great food and great weather.
Jeremy Parsons is the CEO and manager here at the Clay County Fair. Sophie, we'll throw it back to you. Scott's back, I'm back. We'll all be back at 6. In the meantime, Tim Seaman in Spencer, Iowa at the Clay County Fair.
All right, go get a great snack. Thanks a lot, Tim. And students are on TikTok, as we said, competing for the most so-called devious lick. You have to understand this one, see it to believe it. That's items they've stolen from their school, but the thieving quickly turned to vandalism. How a school is reacting tonight, coming up next.
This one.
Viral internet challenges have a history of getting dangerous, like the Cinnamon Challenge. And now the #DeviousLick Challenge on TikTok is getting students in some serious trouble. KRISTI Gross has reaction now to the robbery and vandalism that's since ensued.
It's so sad. I just don't understand why these children are turning to that kind of vandalism to express themselves.
Within 2 weeks,
this thing has gone viral worldwide. So I did not like it.
Parents are upset some students have taken social media too far. Mountain House High School has been a victim of a TikTok trend turned destructive, known as devious licks.
The whole devious licks TikTok trend that's going on right now is that students steal things, and the bigger thing they steal, the more likes they'll get online.
MHHS Principal Ben Faubert says in addition to theft, in the last week the campus has also been vandalized as part of the trend.
We've seen students ripping soap dispensers off of the walls and throwing them across the bathroom. We've also seen paper towel dispensers completely ripped off of the walls. Students have ripped off the dividers between urinals in the boys' bathrooms.
He estimates vandals have caused at least a couple $1,000s in damage, and law enforcement is now investigating. As we tried to track down some of those TikTok videos searching the hashtag devious licks, we came across this message that says no results found. It also says the phrase is associated with behavior or content that violates the app's community guidelines. Now, of course, if you search alternate spellings, you can still find many of those videos.
It's happening. It's becoming more rampant, all in the name of a trend on social media to hopefully get likes.
We take a live look outside right now over a sunny and hot downtown Sioux City. Scott returns from the fair with one more check on your forecast just after this break. We take you back one more time to the fair with Scott Larson. Scott?
Sophie, we're set up near the bingo hall here in the Clay County Fairgrounds, and I'll tell you what, we have some lucky numbers for us this weekend in Siouxland as far as the forecast goes. We should expect to see some more comfortable conditions tomorrow, following up a chance of some thunderstorms in the morning. Expecting to see highs top off in the low to mid 70s. Back into the 80s, some more heat for the weekend and sunshine as well. And then a chance of some thunderstorms develops Monday night into Tuesday of next week. That's going to bring about some fall-like conditions as we go through next Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be live again coming up at 6. Looking forward to joining you then. In the meantime, Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson, KCAU 9 News. So